Coming to you from the Malace TV studios in Troy, Michigan, this is the Malace Cast.
All right, welcome back to the new and improved Malace Cast. We are bigger, brighter, and better than ever before. I'm LJ.
I'm Sarah.
And today we have a ton to talk to you about, but before we do, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel as well as our pages on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Every time you like and subscribe, an angel gets its wings.
What an incentive.
Incredible. So Sarah, I don't know if it's the new studio or the mountain of Red Bulls I just consumed, but I am excited. I am full of energy and honestly having mild heart palpitations. How are you?
Concerned slightly.
We have a doctor on standby.
Yep. Andrew, if you could put 911 on speed dial real quick. It's going to be great. Yeah. We're here for another Malace Cast and nothing could be better.
Yeah. Well, I think it's cool. We're in this new studio. We've had the green screen before and we're kind of taking it to the next level. I thought the green screen kind of was tedious as well, trying to get everything meshed up in there. But I think it kind of brings together our topic that we want to talk about today, which is returning to the office. Now, I know we are all have returned to the office. I know plenty of people out there returning back to the office. And I think it's a good topic to talk about because there's lots of people that are for it. There's lots of people that are against it. And that goes both ways with employees and employers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a lot in here, and now we've got everybody. For a while there, what these folks won't know is we were kind of separate in two different offices because we had so many folks. Now we're all together. We're all on the same floor. We're breathing the same air and eating in the same kitchen. I mean, it's so nice to have everybody together. And even as maybe apprehensive as some folks might be about coming back to the office, the vibe is just like the energy is out there. Everybody is concentrated on the work, but also joking around and having fun. And I mean, I just think it's exceeded my expectations. We'll put it that way. Yeah,
I agree. I think the synergy and the energy has been extremely positive. And there's been so many people out there, and especially even in our own organization, who've had to work from home, and they may have a significant other that's going to work or kids that are going to school. It's kind of just them by themselves at a computer. And some people, I think, enjoy that. But other people, I mean, we're social creatures. You need a little bit of people around you in order to enjoy life, essentially.
Yeah, I agree. And we've talked about it before. I'm the introvert of the two of us. So I like my space. I like
that. Is surprising.
Quiet.
That is surprising.
Everybody says that, but really, I just like the quiet. And here, you have the energy and you have, like we had talked about, but it's nice. It's nicer than I thought it was going to be. And I've worked mostly in the office for the last couple of years, but coming back full time is like, oh, wow, like here we are. Everybody's here. Yep. Everybody. It's much different than I expected it to be. And I enjoy it so much more that I'm hoping that other people are feeling the same way, because we did put a lot of effort into bringing everybody back the right way. But so what have you been reading about it? Because I know you got a couple articles you want to talk about.
Yeah. I've got a couple here. One was from USA Today. I had one from New York Post, but it was talking about what workers are doing to get readjusted back into the workplace. And in this article from USA Today, I think this came out a day or two ago. They were talking about how a lot of workers are actually bringing more of their home into the office, into their cubicles. And a lot of times that can be plants or books or art or family photos. But it's discussing how when people are returning to the office, they're happy and excited to be back with other people, but they also still want to have that transitional bit of, hey, this is some of my home here now, and make it more comfortable, like they were when they were working at home.
Yeah.
And I know in this article specifically, the companies are trying to make, the office space is comfortable as someone's home. If everyone wants to work from home, you essentially just have to make your office very similar to home. Mm-hmm. I mean, it seems like it's pretty sound logic. What are your thoughts on that as far as, people getting back in the office and adjusting from that, working from home, now we're back into the office together?
Well, when I started this job, it was a full-time 40-hour a week in the office job. That's what I hired in for. Most of us did. And then COVID hit and it changed the landscape of things. We all know this story. So now I think we understand that the work can be done from home when needed, but we all work better when we're all together, learning from each other, listening to each other, joking around with each other, having lunch together, those things. Because like you said, we're social creatures. So I think in a nutshell, it's, you're finding the balance, right? It doesn't have to be a hybrid schedule to enjoy it. I've found myself, since we've been back in the office, that I'm not going to lunch as much, I just stay here because we've created an office that I don't really want to leave. Once I'm here, I'm very happy to be here. Yeah. The commute would be the pro or the con in that, because now everybody's coming back. So now there's all kinds of traffic, but
and $6 gas.
And $6 gas. So there is that.
Hopefully that will subside. Well, and something that they were talking about in this article specifically was they did a Gallup poll, and they said that a majority of the respondents from that poll actually wanted to be back in the office, and it was to socialize, to collaborate, and to be able to be a part in person of these big decisions that are being made, that their companies are making.
It makes a lot of sense.
And from a managerial perspective, I know a lot of managers like having people in the office because if there's something that they need to explain, or there's a diagram or a chart or something that they prefer for that person to be in person, essentially, those are all situations where the manager wants someone there to either instruct others, to demonstrate what they're bringing to the table, or what topic they're talking about, and really being able to explain those things in person. But yeah, and I think it also ties back to what companies are doing for their employees who are returning. And I think, like we said, that's about making the office a lot like home. And it was pretty funny because, in these articles they were talking about, there's actually a rancher who has, I think, between 60 to 80 employees. And he is actually created a library, a kitchen, a hot tub, a gym, all for his employees. He's paying for their commute to and from work. So I'm gonna have to look up where this ranch is, but I mean, I've never even heard of anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, talk about not wanting to leave when you have you have everything but your family there with you. Right. So that's fantastic.
Well, and I've always been a little suspicious of the super big, what do you want to call them, perks, I guess, at an office, because at some point they're gonna put a sleeping pod in there, they're gonna put some blankets and pillows, and you know what, you are just gonna be there forever, know. And
I think that's how cults start typically.
Is that? Yeah. That might very well be. No, but I just, I think it's one of those things where you have to find that balance, between it making sure people enjoy coming to the office, and also making sure that people are actually doing the work instead of being in a hot tub all day.
Well, there is that, yes.
And then the other thing, kind of going off of that, there's a lot of different employees out there that are trying to adjust back to the workplace. And we had talked about them bringing stuff into, bringing memorabilia or things from their house into their cubicle. Other ways that people are adjusting is, there's a lot of, like you said, introverts out there who don't necessarily enjoy being around people. And a lot of these folks think that they work best when they're by themselves. So some of these introverts they're bringing music to work. They're taking more breaks. They're doing walks outside. They're just trying to get anything to get that little break in their day to ensure that they basically stay sane.
Some alone time, really.
Some alone time.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why anytime you walk into my office, there's always music playing. Yeah. And I have my plants, and I have my whatever it is that I want on any given day. My coffee or my 8 beverages in front of me. Yeah. I always have to have them. But I do think that making a place your own, whether it's your office or your cubicle or whatever it is key to being comfortable at work and being happy, just kind of doing what you're doing. That's where you are able to personalize it and bridge it to make the best of both worlds, right? You have your stuff because you're home, but then you are also in a work environment where you can collaborate with others. So that's key to me. Like your office in particular is, you've got the stuff that you've done for traveling, and you've got your TV on the wall. Like you've got a setup in your office where Donnie's bed is on the ground next to his bowls, like it's almost like a second apartment for you, know, to have that. So I think that's fantastic. I think as we kind of get more people and move and grow in this office, like you're going to see more personalization. It's still pretty fresh to all of us. So people start settling in and bringing pictures and stuff like that. So it's always good to see that stuff too, because some people go crazy with their pictures. Some people are like, I see enough of them at home. So
yeah, well, I mean, I look at it, I'm in here for at least 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, I'm in here a lot of times more than I'm actually home, So, I like to make my office a reflection of my personality and things that I've done because I want to look at stuff, you know. But it's pretty interesting because I think it's going to be this whole staying at home versus remote work. I think is going to be kind of a consistent thing over at least the next few years. Elon Musk made a huge uproar, or whatever I guess you want to call it, about a month ago when he had basically said that you are required to be in the office for 40 hours a week, no matter what. And if you aren't, then you are not going to be working here. Mm-hmm. And then he kind of backtracked about a week later, says, well, if you're doing excellent work from home, you can stay remote. But then the question begs, what does excellent work, how do you define that? It seems pretty ambiguous, and it seems like something that could be completely different from two individuals, especially in two different jobs. So I think managers and employees together are going to have to figure out a way to really work together on this and come up with a good solution for both.
Yeah, and I mean, goodness, just ask the employees, what would make this better for you? We don't have to sit in cubicles all day long. You want some space to go and work on your own. Hey, we have a bunch of conference rooms that you can use, and then come back to your desk and you're a little rejuvenated and things like that. I mean, give people options to decompress if they want to, because we've all been there where it's like, just get off a bad phone call or you got some bad news and you're like, I got to get out of here for a minute. But you don't have to necessarily leave the office to get out of here. You can just go to a different part of it. So asking the employees what they want, what would make them more successful is going to be key to making people happy when they come back to the office.
Yep.
What do you think makes you happy?
Well, I mean, first off, just to your point, I mean, I think you're spot on. There's plenty of managers out there that, treat their employees poorly or don't listen to their employees. And man, you'd be surprised what happens when you listen to and treat people like the adults that they are.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I'm a firm believer, and we've talked about this offline many times, but you take care of your employees and they will take care of you.
Yes.
And we're all people, and in this world, gonna need a little empathy sometimes, and a little empathy can go a long way.
I mean, that goes to what I always say, where I love that phrase that you just said with the treat employees or take care of employees, and employees will take care of you. But it also goes into people who feel appreciated will always do more than what's expected of them, and we see that all the time in here. You give people a seat at the table, tell them they did a good job. We do shout outs and things like that to make people understand that, hey, we might not come around and say every single day you did all these really good things, but we want the company to know that you did all these really good things. So we do shout outs and things like that. So, people feeling appreciated is half of it. And just having a voice when it comes to what do you want your ideal work environment to look like is one easy way to make people feel appreciated.
Well, and I think when you bring your employees into some of these decisions and allow them to be a part of that decision-making process, gives them a sense of ownership too. Yes. And I think it's great having, I know we have them, other companies have them, different committees for community outreach, brand awareness, all that type of stuff. But that really is a direct way for employees to be engaged with the company. Mm-hmm. We have a process improvement, which they don't like something that's going on, they can go in there and try and come up with a solution. I'm of the belief that there's no such thing as a bad idea. And I think everything is at least worth hearing, any idea. I know we kind of mentioned this a little earlier, but we are in this new office. So we are kind of doing some of these similar things. We had spent a lot of time researching what other companies are doing and kind of getting a sense of where we wanted to be, as far as that scale goes. So, here we've got an arcade now, we've got the golf, our putting green, we've got the studio, we've got, basically, 60 plus people in here now. I have a brand new kitchen with a cafeteria. And like you said, now, you add all these things and now people aren't going out for lunch as much. They're bringing their lunch in, they're spending time a little bit later after work. Maybe they finish, maybe they're working for, 10, 15 extra minutes, but then they go and they're challenging their buddy to Golden Tee or Mortal Kombat,
Yes.
And it's fun. It offers a mental break, but it also enhances that collaboration, and that the friendship and the ability of each other, of everyone to work with each other.
Yeah, I utilized it the other day. Kind of what I was talking about earlier. Like I just had, just some bad things happen as they do, or negative things. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get up and walk around. Played a little Mortal Kombat, got some stuff off my chest, came back refreshed. Yeah. So who knew?
Who knew that, fatality.
Finish him. So yeah, I think, speaking to what individuals want, some people thrive in environments where they're listening to each other and they're picking up on the nuances, and maybe somebody says a really great line when they're talking to a candidate or whatever it is that they're doing. And you're like, oh, I'm going to use that. I've done that before. Sometimes, especially when you're new, you kind of you got your nerves going and you're talking to people on the phone and you're like, I don't know what I do.
Right.
Especially when other people are listening. So that's one of the things that we've done here is like created spaces. There's interview rooms where some of the new people I've noticed have been going in there and making phone calls. So then they're not, on the spot so much. So they can pick up on the things that other people are saying, but then they can go and actually
practice it.
Yeah, practice it on their own.
Build up their confidence.
Yes, build up their confidence. And then one of the probably low key compared to the arcade and the big kitchen and all the things is, we put this training room into place. And a lot of times before, we used to do all of our training was done just like, hey, sit with this person and learn what they're doing. And then you're cramped in a little space. And now we have a training space that we can utilize for a myriad of things. But that when you're learning this business and you're learning how to work here and what it's all about, you have your own space to kind of go and be fresh. Yeah. And you don't feel like, oh gosh, I'm the new person, I'm going to sound so stupid or whatever it is. So the training room is just one of those things that like, there's so much thought that went into it. We talked to a lot of our employees about what they wanted. You guys mainly did it with all of the intent of making this a place that people want to come to. I think you said it a couple of weeks ago where it's like, hey, if we got to come back to the office, let's make it an office that everybody wants to be at.
Right.
So, I think that we've done a good job of putting that all together, and I'm so excited to see how it works out for us as we move forward, because now we're out of that tiny little spot and now we're all big here together, and it feels really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's kind of funny in that training room. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're actually literally playing Jeopardy.
Right now. My team's about to go in about a half hour.
Yeah, well, then we got to wrap this up. But yeah, no, I think you're totally right. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Andrew, we went and we have some clips from our employees kind of sharing what they like. So Andrew, if you want to go ahead and play that. So as you can see, it seems like everybody has a little bit different idea of what the perfect workspace or office is, but it's really up to the employees and managers to come together, to work together, to figure out what works best for everyone.
Yes.
And for all of our viewers or listeners, if you have any comments or ideas of what your perfect workspace might be, make sure to drop a comment below. But other than that, I believe that's all we got for today. So appreciate everyone listening. I'm LJ.
I'm Sarah.
And this is the Malace Cast.
You've been listening to the Malace Cast, the official podcast of Malace HR. Don't forget to subscribe now to Malace TV, available on YouTube. And we'll see you on our next Malace Cast.